Hey, what's up guys? It's Rick with the Digital Divide, and today we're going to go thrifting again. I love treasure hunting, and I love finding the things that you can only find at like a Goodwill or a flea market or an antique store. It's just a lot of fun. Before I get started, I want to say that I'm doing another free giveaway this video. The thing I'm giving away this week is kind of cool. If you walk into my nerd room, one of the things you'll see when you go inside is a metal Batman sign that says "Welcome to the Batcave." So if you win this week, you're going to win one of these, and yours is going to be brand new in the packaging. It's interesting the way I got this. I initially bought one of these, and after about 2 weeks of waiting, Amazon emailed me and said that they had to cancel my order because it was lost or damaged during shipping. So eventually I got a replacement sent to me. Everything was fine. Then about a month after that, I got the original one that got lost in the mail, supposedly. I got on the website and tried to return it, but because Amazon canceled it and because so much time had passed, I wasn't able to, so I figured I'd just give it away. Anyways, let's begin with the thrifting. First place we're going to hit up is the Goodwill in Thurmont, Maryland. I usually find a lot of cool video games and toy stuff here, and today was no exception. So when you walk in on the left, I immediately saw these two pop figures. One was a limited edition red glossy Boba Fett here, and the other one was just the normal Boba Fett in his traditional armor. Now, the red one was a 2022 exclusive, Target Con exclusive, so that one had some value. It sells anywhere between $15 to $35 on eBay, but I prefer the look of the original armor, and because I'm not buying these to sell, I just bought the original. And I got it for a steal. It was only $249 brand new in the box, so that was a no-brainer for me. Moving on, I walked over to the video game section, and immediately I was super excited to see one of my favorite RPGs ever made, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. And I was super thrilled about that, so I'm obviously immediately going to pick that up for $429. It's a no-brainer. It's just the caliber of Star Wars game that you don't see too often in the wild. And then they had a copy of Mechasult, which I don't have in my collection, so I'm going to pick that up as well. And as well as they had Rally Sport 2. I haven't played this one, but I love racing games, so I'll go ahead and give that one a shot as well. And then I went and looked at some of these blank cases that didn't have a cover. It was just the CD, but that's not a big deal. If you've watched my channel, you know I've mentioned the coverproject.com a lot. It's a really great website where you can just go make your own covers. So I went ahead and hopped on here, and I downloaded a cover of Knights of the Old Republic 2, and you can see they have custom covers. They have one for each territory. I just downloaded the original US cover. When you print it out, it looks something like this. I use a really high quality glossy paper, so it looks like this once it's printed, and then you just have to cut it out to match the case. And the end result looks like this. So it looks exactly like the original cover, and I was super happy with the outcome. Moving on to the electronics department, I found this gigantic soundbar. And then I saw this. This is a Sony Bravia I think the model is XBR. This is one of the highest end models of HDTV that Sony made when they started making them. And as you can see, this one has a ton of inputs. It has S-Video, composite, component, optical out, coax, everything, HDMI. It even has this panel here that supports cable card and RGB in case you want to connect a computer to this. Now, I'm not going to use this for retro gaming because LCDs are horrible for retro gaming, but I'll use it for something like the PlayStation 3. Moving on, there's a bunch of Blu-ray players, iHome, soundbars, keyboards, mice, the typical. But then I saw this. This is a Microsoft Surface docking station, and it's only a couple of years old and appears to be completely brand new in the box. The seals on either end are not broken. They were only asking $39.99, and this sells online for double that. Brand new, you know, they go from $80 to $100 plus. So this is one of the few items I'll pick up just to resell it on eBay. Our next stop is going to be another Goodwill. This time it's going to be the Walkersville Goodwill in Maryland. Immediately walking in on your left, you're greeted with a bunch of games, and I found some really good nuggets here. I found Midtown Madness 3. This is a really hard game to find in the wild. You just don't come across it that often. They also had Tao Feng. This is the first game, if my memory serves me, that ran natively in HD on the original Xbox without any upscaling. I also found some PlayStation 2 games, Rebel Raiders. This is like a jet fighter sim. I've never heard of it, but I'm going to pick it up for $1.29. I also found another PlayStation 2 game that I haven't heard of called D2 Racer. I love racing games, so I'll pick that up for $1.29. All of these games were only $1.29. I'm going to pass on the sports stuff because, I don't really play a lot of sports games. I also found this game, Motocross Mania 3 for the Xbox. I never heard of it, but I'll pick it up because, again, I love racing games. And it's only $1.29. And then they also had the original Forza Motorsport as well. I also came across this Boba Fett Hallmark ornament. Almost picked it up, but passed on that. Next stop is going to be Memory Lane Antiques and Collectibles. This is one of my favorite spots. It's right down the street from where I live. As soon as you walk in, you're greeted with some Smurf glasses, which are interesting, but not something I collect. I also found these cool-looking M&M figures. Kind of cool. Again, not something I collect. And then, without fail, every antique store I go to has these creepy-ass dolls with these weird facial expressions. I don't know who's buying, who's looking for this? Why does every antique store have them? It makes no sense to me. Moving on, I found a booth that had a ton of Marvel collectible cards, although they were all overpriced from the 90s. And then they also had the biggest collection of Marvel Lego figures I think I've ever seen in my entire life. There were just hundreds and hundreds, and each one of these is a Marvel character in Lego form. And there were probably, I don't know, maybe 200-300 of them at least. It just went on. And it's cool, but not something I usually collect. Moving on, I found this really old Superman figure from 1988. I was tempted, but a bit too cartoonish looking for my taste. I also found this Spider-Woman bust, and then a bunch of comic book slabs. Now, I did go through these, but there wasn't anything worth picking up in the pile. Next, I found this really cool-looking medieval helmet. This was so interesting, but I'm not an expert on welding, so I can't tell if this is like a modern reproduction or if it is period correct. They were asking $120 for it. Something that would be really cool to display, but I ended up passing on it because I just don't know enough about it. Moving on, I found some more comic books, some really cool old Vampirella books. They had some old Kung Fu books. They had a bunch of Marvel books scattered about, some Iron Man and Captain America. I looked some of these up, and again, just nothing that was worth picking up for the price that they were asking. So the next booth I found, I got really excited because I saw this old KB Toy Store Nintendo 64 display case, and you just don't see this that often. So I went in with high expectations, and they had a bunch of figures. This really creepy one, I don't know where this is from, but it caught my eye. Apparently it's from Lost in Space, but they had just a huge variety of stuff. Wrestling figures, Marvel figures, Star Trek figures, just all kinds of random things, as you can see. Over here they had some Stephen King novels, and then above that they had some monster truck replica trucks. They had some Savage Dragon figures, which I don't see a whole lot, but not something I'm interested in collecting. Some Star Wars stuff. I have a lot of these figures already, and I got them for cheaper than they're asking. Same with the Fantastic Four stuff. I have most of these figures already, so I didn't need them. Have this one as well. Just a variety of things here. It's neat to see that, they had some Star Trek stuff. Again, I have most of these already. Still fun to see in the wild. And they had this PlayStation booth that was gutted out, which is a shame. But that was really cool to see. And then they had this weird Batman robot thing I've never seen before. Moving on. I found all these magazines from the 90s. This booth had a lot of autograph stuff. They have signed Brendan Fraser, some sports signed posters, just all kinds of stuff from old celebrities to new celebrities. Just a bunch of autographed photos. Each of them came with a COA, so it was interesting to see. The Tim Burton one was kind of tempting, but I ended up passing. I did find this really cool Forbidden Planet robot that was tempting, but I didn't end up picking that up. I did find all these Hot Wheels. I'm not a huge collector of Hot Wheels, unless they're older. If they're the originals, these look like they're more modern though, so fun to see, but I passed on these as well. The next booth, I found this Dodge Viper. It's a 1992 die-cast replica. Now, I just recently started collecting these. I only have a handful, as you can see here, but these are all die-cast metal. They have working suspension, everything opens up. It's really cool. I was able to talk him down a bit on that one. I also found these Marvel wooden kind of art pieces. There was a Captain America one and an Amazing Fantasy 15 one as well. And then they had a bunch of G.I. Joe figures. These were in amazing condition. They were kept in these protective plastic containers, and if you're a fan of G.I. Joe, these were amazing deals. I don't collect G.I. Joe personally. Anyways, at the end of the day, this is the haul that I ended up coming home with. I got really great prices on everything, and again, it's just so much fun going out because you never know what you're going to find. I ended up getting a ton of really great games for dirt cheap. I am slowly building up my retro gaming collection. I just started this year. This is what I have so far. It's mostly PlayStation 2 stuff, an original Xbox, Sega Saturn, PlayStation 3, and a couple other systems scattered about. Anyways, that's going to do it for me today, guys. Again, if you want to win the Batman poster, just like the video, leave a comment. I'll pick one at random and update you guys with the winner as soon as I can. As always, thank you for watching.